Hi, everybody. It's Charles Harper, and wanted to talk to you today about just some decisions that we made for 2022. And you can probably tell that we're in a different production mode, and we kind of figured out at the end of last year that something that we tried to do would really did not. It really didn't work the way we would have liked to it. And what we were trying to do was to go into our local market and to basically sell the PLR that we were producing. And trying to do two business models at the same time, uh, that's kind of almost the exact thing that I tell people not to do, in our extreme business makeover training. But I was trying to do it. It didn't work. And it didn't work because it wouldn't have worked. It didn't work because there are not two of me. And so it was really insane to think that, I could, be one person in the local market. I could keep that kind of in one place, and then I could continue to be the trainer that I've been, in the PLR space. And so at the beginning of this year, we basically said, okay, well, let's do this. Let's just focus on what we have done for years, and that's to create, great PLR courses and to teach people about PLR and to teach them how to use it, to teach people how to maximize it, in particular video training. Because as I always say in all of our training, video PLR is different and you have to treat it differently, especially technical instruction. And there are very easy ways to do it. And so we've kind of returned to doing that. We're in a different kind of production mode right now. You've probably seen that. Like for instance, right now, we've got lead generation masterclass available for you, 20 over the shoulder videos. We're going to have something else for you on next Saturday, which is going to be Notion, God willing. And so what we're trying to do is to give you some of the things that we have been wanting to do, that we thought we were going to be able to do last year and keep up a pace while we tried to do this, insane plan in our local area. But like I said, I just didn't realize how much bandwidth it really required in order to try to do two things at once, one local and um, one in kind of cyberland where you are. So the, and interestingly, I think that the place where I really discovered this was, I went to a networking meeting, and I go to my alumni meetings. I don't know about you; it depends on whether or not if you're, if you went to college, that kind of thing, and you go to alumni meetings. But this year, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to these things, even though they probably aren't going to be interested or really so much into internet marketing. Very interesting thing happened. And, I think it'll probably require, a whole episode and game plan to tell you what happened. And I'll do that maybe in a separate episode. But going to these networking meetings is interesting because it's different from our rhythm, right? People are in a different mind space. They come from corporate. They're doing different kinds of things. They're interesting kind of things, but they intersect in some of the things that you and I already know how to do. And what was really interesting were, these, corporate people, and some of these dudes that I graduated with, they own planets, right? I mean, these guys, I mean, they're kind of, really, kind of far out, but they really kind of need what it is that you and I know already. And so I'm going to continue to follow this out. I'll keep you posted on what happens there. But um, I want to end by just saying one of the things that I think happened was I got off track from the set of principles that I teach every Thursday that I call Extreme Business Makeover, and I do that. I started out doing that just for our Ultimate Insiders. I've now expanded it for two groups. Some people I give the PLR to, other groups of people I do just the 52 weeks of training. And basically, the 12 principles are things that, I've done over the years. And I know that if you stick to those things and you kind of keep your head down and focus on the process will work. It's just that, none of the things in there are fast. None of the things in there are, particularly glamorous. And you have to be willing to just kind of do some things for a long time. And I've really kind of returned to those things on a personal level and not just teaching them just because I've done them in the past doesn't mean that I don't need to do them now. And so all of those things that I do on Thursday nights that I've done for years, and just stopped doing in 2021, I've returned to those things. And so you'll see me doing my own product snowball. You'll see me doing my own weekly workshop, which you're probably already seeing. You will see me trying to position myself as an educator. I'm not saying that I'm going to be an expert, but I'm going to educate. And that's what we do. And that's what we've always done, except in 2021 for some odd reason. It just got weird. Uh, but yeah, the reason I mention that is because I was talking to one of our our colleagues that's in the PLR show community, and they're just kind of saying really kind of struggling with kind of where they were in their online business, and this person and I had talked before, and I said y- you know I'm really going to suggest you kind of go back to those principles where you go back and you go to a market, a sub market, and you position yourself as an educator, and you do a weekly workshop. And then three, you determine what that market needs, and then you launch on a pretty regular basis. It's called a product snowball. There's no there's no mystery to this, and there's no grand plan. There's none of that. There's just these principles, and if you abide by them, no, they're not going to all of a sudden jump up and make you rich. But if you will stick to them, then they will kind of eventually start to take care, of you and some of the things that you may be looking for in your online business. And so, if you have not seen Extreme Business Makeover, you haven't seen those principles, you can go and it's a 52-week plan. That's a 52-week course, and you really do need to go week by week in order to really get the whole thing. But you can get that at the plrshow.com/TNMW. Or if you want the PLR version, I drip that out 1 week at a time. And that's so that I will always be ahead of you. And pretty much when I get done with all 52 weeks, then I'm just going to release all 52 weeks for you to be able to use them in your paid products. And I put a limit on that because I don't want people just giving this stuff away. Now, don't people want people using it in their free stuff, because it's really for paid. It's for paid programs. So, if you got a paid program and you're trying to figure out what am I going to teach these people on a week-to-week basis, you can get the PLR version of our 52-week course. It's called Extreme Business Makeover, and you can get that at the plrshow.com/TNMW combo, right? And so if you get that, and if you go there, you'll see it's called New Marketer Workshop. That's because those graphics are going to be yours. It's like your version of my Extreme Business Makeover. And so you get the graphics, you get to change them. Maybe you don't want to call it New Marketer Workshop, whatever the case is, but you're going to have a set of principles that you can teach that are going to be foundational. And if you don't want to do it, you don't want to sell or teach them, just get the regular version. Just go to plrshow.com/TNMW and go through that course. And what I will say to you is I can't make promises, all right? And FTC doesn't want me to do that. What I will tell you is if you're willing to kind of put in the work, you'll see it when you go through it. It's the kind of thing where it's probably what you always know you should have been doing, but like all of us, we go for short money, right? We see a loophole, or we see a method, and we see flash, and we see all this stuff, and we get a lot of affiliates promoting, and we jump on it, and all of a sudden you look up and I don't know, 2, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, a month later, year later, you're just not where you want to be. And that's because you probably really just kind of went for something short, when really you got to kind of dig your heels in, launch on a regular basis, teach people, build a brand. And that's what those principles do in Extreme Business Makeover. And as I said, you can get that plrshow.com/TNMW, or if you want the PLR version, you can do that at the plrshow.com/TNMW combo. And so that's a little long-winded today. So my my apologies for being so long-winded with that. But thanks everybody for hanging out with me tonight. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care. And remember what we have right now, depending on when you're listening to this, you can get Lead Generation Masterclass PLR, the plrshow.com/LGMC. Okay, thanks.